Hello, this is a response video to Richard over at Vinyl Tap House. He has put out a challenge, if you like, out there into the VC. Basically, a video where you mention about VC channels that you've watched and records that you've been inspired to purchase. And he put out this kind of challenge where I think he said you show at least maybe 3 to 5 records mentioning the VC channels along with the records. So I picked out a few, admittedly, probably a few more than 5. I've been in the VC for 6 years doing videos, but I must have spent maybe, I don't know, 3 years, maybe 4 years before that, actually just watching videos of various channels, many of which have come and gone, and even like up to now, there's been quite a number of channels which have sadly have gone, and some which probably slowed down quite considerably to maybe what they were years ago. But nonetheless, I got some records here, various channels really. They're not kind of restricted to like the country I live in. It's kind of like all over the place. Excuse me. Well, I say all over the place. In between I guess the UK and America, so quite far out there. Yeah, without further ado, let's get into it. There's a lot to show. I have to quickly wrap this up as fast as I can. Right then, I'll start off with a British channel, John Bellamy. John's been in the VC longer than what I have. I was watching his videos for a few years before I started, and he has quite an eclectic taste, but he does like to dabble in a bit of jazz, and he brought home a record from the charity shop he brought and was thoroughly impressed with it. Not just the music itself, but the actual quality and how well the album was actually pieced together. He mentioned this about this album, and it kind of inspired me to buy the album and to see for myself, because he really kind of, at the time of collecting quite early on, I was interested in good sounding records. A lot of the times I was watching videos, looking out for records that particularly sound very good, and this one kind of caught my eye, and he really sold it to me in the terms of the quality of the record. So this was a record, Oscar Peterson, and it's Hello Herbie. I think John was lucky enough to find it in a charity shop, but I think I cheated and sourced it out on either eBay or Discogs. But great album, great sounding album. Really, I can't remember what exactly was said. Now was a few years ago now. Um, but John's video on this particular album, he knew everything, all the details about this album and how it's put together, and how well it was recorded, etc., etc. And so Oscar Peterson, Hello Herbie, and it's a really nice jazz album actually. I remember him mentioning in the video that he has kids, and he played this in the front room, I guess, and the whole mood of the home just kind of changed. It was like relaxed and peaceful, and it just, he said it was the power of this album. So he thought, anyway, so he reckons. Anyway, moving on from John Bellamy. There's another chap I used to watch for years before I started. Matt Hayes, I think it's Matt Hayes Vinyl. And I used to watch his videos literally every time he put out a video. I'd watch it, and he was really the kind of the first channel that sort of got me into um, buying many records and into the hobby really. And he used to show all sorts of things. I think he slowed down a bit now in making videos. It used to be like every week he would put out a video, but then I think he had children, and I think production of videos kind of slowed down. I understand all. I know what that's like. But yeah, yeah, he's a great channel. And if he does put out a video, um, watch it, because he's a great channel. He's been in the VC for a long time, and he's a great guy. And he's funny enough. He comes actually. I learned later on. He jumped on a live stream maybe 2 years ago. Can't remember what live stream it was now, and I'm not sure it was mine or someone else's. He came on and he said that he was from the county I live in, and used to live in a town which my father used to live in. And when I was growing up as a kid, it wasn't too far away. I was very familiar with this particular town, and I never knew that. And it's a small world, isn't it? That now he's living over in America, and he has that kind of background where you know our worlds were sort of very close together. And obviously now he's out living in America, and yeah, it's strange, isn't it? But anyway, he recommended loads of records. To be honest with you, when I was doing this video, all my records are basically in alphabet order. And time I got to B, I've already cracked this video. I already had enough there. That's how many records I have, which have been recommended or inspired by other VC channels. So yeah, just got to like B, which is like this cube up here, and I was virtually finished. But I did manage to pull out a few others beyond the letter B. So he mentioned Caroline King Tapestry, which I didn't know anything about. And I think due to his video of showcasing this, I had my eye out for it. Because, this is a record you can find quite freely in the wild, going through charity shops and what have you. And it can be kind of overlooked in charity shops. It could be put out maybe for £1 or two, and it's one worth picking up because it's a classic album. So yeah, and yeah, he recommended it. I picked it up, and yeah, I was happy with it. It was very, very good. Matt Hazy also mentioned this particular record by Bob Seger and the Silver Bullet Band, Against the Wind. He picked this up in like a recent record video he made, and I always kind of thought, oh, you know what, I wouldn't mind that. So yes, Against the Wind, like I think he might have mentioned, featured in the soundtrack Forrest Gump. That's a great soundtrack, and I can remember it, being in the films. I've watched that film so many times, so I'm familiar with the song. I didn't really know too much about the artist, so like Matt, I seeked out the album and brought it. And this was, I think that was an eBay purchase, and lovely condition record as well. So yeah, Bob Seger and the Silver Bullet Band, and that's Against the Wind. He also mentioned this album by Def Leppard, Hysteria, came out '87. I've heard of Def Leppard, but never really kind of experienced their albums. I might have heard their singles, but never actually went out and brought an album as such. But he mentioned this album in '87, and how much of a good album it really was. And that kind of whet my appetite a bit. And I thought, well, if there's anything like he says it is, then I really do want to sort of get a copy of that, and managed to pick up a copy, an excellent condition copy, in my hotel where we actually had a record shop for a few years before he sadly packed up and moved elsewhere. Rob, if you're listening, that would be you, because he also does watch my channel at times. So yeah, this Def Leppard Hysteria 1987 includes the insert, and I also stuck 12-inch single on the back there, Animal. So yeah, so thank you, Matt, and yeah, moving on then. Rockin' Ron, yes, Ron Beaudry. He's been in the VC for years, and I used to watch his videos before I started doing my own, and just sort of looking out for like good sounding records, like I mentioned earlier. You know, what records are worth picking up, which sound good. Sort of as I'm sort of starting my record collection, and he mentioned Blue Rodeo, Outskirts. I've never heard of this band, but because of his recommendation, and he said that it was a fairly cheap record to pick up quite easily. I looked into it and sort of found a copy pretty quickly for not a lot of money. These aren't particularly expensive, but they sound very, very good. So yeah, worth picking up. So yeah, Blue Radio, Outskirts, and also he is a big Blue Oyster Cult fan. Is Rockin' Ron, and he mentioned he's mentioned all their albums, but this was just one album I found in my local record shop, um, and that's Agents of Fortune. So a bit of heavy there as well. So so yes, moving on. Melinda Murphy. It's one of the best channels in the VC. What can I say about Melinda, which has not been said? She's one of the very best, and she turned me on to just an artist I've never heard at all. And she said Billy Squire. She had said she had this album back in the day, and that is Don't Say No, and said it's a really good album. I wanted to check it out, and In the Dark. I mean, what a great song. Managed to find a Japanese copy of it with the Yobi, and yeah, been happy with it since. It's a great rock album, and yeah, very, very cool. Rob Walker, one of my favourites in the VC. Love his musical tastes, and he has made numerous recommendations, pointing me to different kind of records. Well, I say pointing me, it's, you know, as I'm watching the video, he's showing records and you know, influencing. And he's mentioned about a certain band which really didn't kind of go anywhere, unfortunately. Great material they had, but yeah, regarding kind of chart success, it never really happened, and went very much under the radar. You know, they kind of tried to sort of make, you know, the chart, so to speak, you know, the top 40, but I don't know if they did, or maybe they were just really at the bottom and just didn't really kind of take off. But that is the Bible, and they released 2 albums in the 80s. The first one being Walking the Ghost Back Home, which I picked up years later on from Rob's video. I mean, he must have showed this dozens of times probably now. And also Eureka, which he has quoted a gorgeous album, and I agree, it is a gorgeous album. It's a lovely album, it really is. It's a nice it's easy on the ear. It's like easy listening. It's just very, very nice. It's like Rob says, it's gorgeous, and yeah, I love it. It's one of my favorites. So yeah, Eureka. Um, Songs such as Skywriting, Honeybee Good, Skeleton Crew. It's just how do you explain these songs? They're just so relaxing. It's so natural. They're written so well, and it's just a shame they didn't really get the acclaim they should have got. There's been like I was saying earlier, there's been a number of channels which have gone, and I can remember when I started watching VC videos, not really knowing that there was a VC or anything really. I was looking into buying a turntable, and I was kind of looking at VC YouTube videos, for recommendations for a turntable. And I come across this channel. It was a girl in the States, and she mentioned all sorts of records and things. She had a great catalogue of videos. One of them was a bit about turntables, which was the one which I initially watched. But from there on in, I started to watch like her showcasing records, and she's done this epic like video. I can't remember how long it was, but she basically showed all the records she loves, or virtually all. I guess maybe everything in her collection, more or less. She was just literally flicking through, and a lot of it was American music, and and she had Tom Petty in there, and it was really because of her kind of like got me into Tom Petty, and all sorts of other things. I can remember watching the video a couple of times and writing certain artists down to check out, and she was a big Eric Clapton fan. I can remember her wearing a shirt saying Clapton is God. Now I can't for the life of me remember this YouTuber's name, this VC girl's name, but she would have been pretty big. She would have been pretty known in the VC. She had a huge library of videos, and she had a lot of concert videos. And my guess is that she was probably pulled down, probably because of copyright. I'm guessing. I might be completely wrong. And I've spoken to a few people, and they can't seem to put a name to who it could be. I've spoken to Richard McCook, and he thinks he knows who I'm talking about. Excuse me, Richard, if you were watching this, you might not remember this conversation, but I mentioned this to you, and you said you think you knew the girl. You may have mentioned a name. I can't remember now. It was a while ago since we had this conversation. But yeah, she just vanished, and I just think that's such a shame, because she put out some great content, and I'd love to have seen it again. But unfortunately, this happens. These channels, they don't last for very long. Some they come and go. Some last for years. Some leave their videos up. Even if, no matter what the outcome, even if they depart, they leave the videos up. Some people change their minds and bring the channels down, and or sometimes YouTube has their way, and sadly they get rid of certain channels because of certain reasons. But it's just a shame, really, because I want it to be all how it once was, but the VC is constantly changing. It's constantly evolving. People come and go. When people go, new people come along. It's constantly changing, and I guess you have to accept, although it's sad that some of these channels do go, it's the change is necessary. It has to be looked at on as upon as a positive thing. You know, that there's always new life being breathed into the VC. So you have to take that into consideration and kind of, you know, change is good kind of attitude. You know, it's necessary, and unfortunately, you know, these channels they disappear. It's all kind of part of a process, you know. I guess process of life, I suppose. But anyway, this girl, she recommended all sorts of artists, and I picked up various records and things in the past, and Eric Clapton was one of them, and also David Gilmour. I didn't even know who David Gilmour is, you know, back then. And this is a solo album by David Gilmour on an island, and I ended up buying it on vinyl at some point during my collecting years. And yeah, you just accumulate this stuff from people, VC channels, people you meet in life, people you meet in work. It's just, you know, the hobby is universal, and it's a great hobby to get into, and you know, I'm still enjoying it all these years of collecting, even though I have amassed all these records, and I maybe am a bit more picky and choosy what I buy now. Um, you know, I'm still a part of this journey, and I'm still glad to be a part of this journey, and I will continue to be a part of this journey and make content still, and do my bit for whoever I can who watch these videos, and whoever appreciate them. So I just want to say thank you for all those that, you know, take the time to watch my videos and create their own content. This is a labor of love. We do this. We don't do this for money. There is no money. So it's just a labor of love, because we love the hobby. We love music, and we love, like, connecting to people, and talking about music with people, and sharing our passions. And that's all it's about. Yeah, I don't know what else I can say. So on that note then, thank you for watching, and bye for now.